In a previous video, I showed you how to set up a Synology DS723 Plus, unpacking it out of the box, inserting your drives, powering it on, and setting up a storage pool along with a volume. So here I'm going to pick up with how you can access the Synology from other computers besides just loading it up in a web page. So if you don't remember where your Synology is on your network, meaning you don't remember its IP address, remember you can go to find.synology.com, or as you can see here in the video, it actually goes to finds with an s.synology.com. Whenever I type in find.synology.com, it just resolves here anyway. So this will list all of the Synologies, if you have more than one, that it can find on your network. So here we have a virtual DSM. So the 723 was for a client, so that's not with me anymore. I'm going to go ahead and continue this process on a virtual disk station manager that I've set up virtually within one of my Synology NASs. So if you're following, it's a Synology NAS running inside of a Synology NAS. So this would be similar to a VM on your computer if you use like Parallels. So you can run Windows on a Mac or Mac on a Windows or Linux, Ubuntu, etc. So here we have our IP address. This one happens to be a 10.20.30.86. You can get directly to that IP address, or you can click the connect down here. So I already have it open in a web page up here. So here we are already logged in, and you can see at the top 10.20.30.86:5000. 5000 is the port. The Synology runs on port 5000. Your typical web browser defaults onto looking on port 80. So that'll get you to, pretty much any website that exists, unless it's changed, such as the Synology is, to 5000. So you do :5000. When you hit the connect button over here, it's going to do that automatically. But just so you know, put in the 5000. Sometimes it'll automatically redirect, sometimes it doesn't. All right, so here we are on the desktop of the Synology disk station. Over here on the left, we've got our package center, which is where we can load all sorts of packages or other applications or services to run on the Synology. Control panel, it's where you're going to control your basic settings, system settings for the Synology itself. File station, it's where you're going to find all your files, and DSM help. This is actually a really good tool, the DSM help. You can find a lot of good information in here as to how to set up and use your Synology. So keep this in mind. If you've got questions on things, go ahead and throw something in the search. Just type in and boom, you're going to get all sorts of articles and directions on what to do. Here's File Station, for example. We'll click on that real quick, and it's going to give you some explanation. It's going to give you some additional links to follow, so on. All right. One of the first things I suggest that you do is jump into Control Panel, and if you don't have already, get yourself a Synology account. If you have one, click here and sign in. So here's where we have our Synology account. I already signed this one in just to save us some time, but go ahead and get yourself an account if you don't have one. Get yourself signed in. It's going to be really helpful, especially if you're going to want to be able to access your Synology from outside your home or office, because then it's going to enable you to use the Synology dynamic domain name service or system. And I'm going to show you that next. All right, once you've got your account up and running, then what you're going to want to do is go to external access. So we'll jump home, all our options here, and here's our external access as well. All right, right here in the beginning, QuickConnect. Getting yourself a QuickConnect ID, the simplest thing you can do, and like I said, it's the easiest way to find your Synology on the internet. We're going to go ahead and do that. Let's just enable that there. And we're going to just call this, oh, well, let's see. What is the name? I had DSM-demo. We'll see if that's available. Actually, we'll do this. We're going to do, so I just typed in a QuickConnect ID, and if it is available, then Synology will give me that ID. So I'm going to hit apply down here in the corner. It's going to check with Synology. And it looks like it's coming back good. Status initializing, great. So now it's telling me connect to your virtual DSM anywhere. From browsers, you can use the link below, and then of course it tells you what your QuickConnect ID that you chose is. All right, great. So now you're all set up to be able to access this from anywhere. However, depending upon what service you're going to use will depend on what ports you may need to open in your firewall on your router. And I can show you where that is later on. If you just look up Synology ports, do a Google search for it. I think one of the top 3 or 4 choices ends up being the Synology page that shows you all that information. Okay, so here we've got our QuickConnect set up, ready to go. Let's take a look at what we need to do to access this from other computers. Actually, before I move away from here, let's go up to our shared folder. Actually, sorry, let's jump to File Services. So we're going to go to File Services, and you're going to see that by default, SMB, Server Message Block, is turned on. Windows and Mac computers can file share over the SMB service. You can also see here they do have the Apple File Protocol, AFP. So if you wanted to enable this, you can enable that as well. But we're going to connect with SMB. It's already turned on. Basic information. Down here, you can see that it's showing us basically our quick ID and how we can connect to the Synology. You can type these in to connect, or you can just discover it on your network or type in the IP address. So there's a number of ways to do it. Now, if we go up to our shared folder, here we're going to see the volume that I created. I created NAS-share. So this is going to be the root of where we're going to be able to store all of our files. And if we launch our file station over here on the left, here you can see NAS share. And it's completely empty except for the recycle bin. The recycle bin is something that I think is enabled by default. You can disable it if you want. I highly recommend keeping a recycle bin around because remember, when you delete something file sharing to a server, when you delete a folder or a file, it does get deleted immediately. It doesn't go to the recycle bin or the trash on your Mac or Windows PC computer. It's gone. So this recycle bin becomes your trash can. And if you need to get something back, this is where you would come to get it. Okay, so we've got our basic share up and running. Let's close out of our file station. We'll close out of our control panel. And let me bring in a Mac here. Okay, so now we have a Mac. And we can just go down here to Finder, launch up Finder. And on the left-hand side, you will typically under Locations see Network in your Finder window. If it's not there, you can also go to Go and find Network here. And of course, the shortcut is Shift-Command-K. So we'll just click on Network. All right, Network is going to show us everything that we have on our local network. And here, we can see our DSM demo. So we're going to click that. Now we're going to get the opportunity to connect. We do connect as, you're attempting to connect, yes, connect. All right, and there is our NAS share and our recycle bin. So I can right click, I can do new folder, and I can do folder from Mac. Okay, and then if we go back to our file station and we open our folder, here's our NAS share, and there is our folder from Mac. So really easy. And then at this point, you can drag and drop, you create new folders, anything you want to do, it'll go over to your Synology. All right, let's bring in Windows. All right, so I've got a Windows here, and we're going to go to the file browser, or file explorer, and we're going to go to this PC. I'm going to right click, add network location. We get a beautiful wizard. Choose yes. Where do you want the okay? Let's go browse and let's see if we see it. No, that is not where we want to be. So we're going to hit cancel. All right, and if you recall, let's get our Mac out of the way. If you recall, we go back to, we're going to look for our SMB. So we're going to go to Control Panel, File Services, so our SMB settings, and down here you can see PC, Windows Explorer, Mac Finder. So we want this, //DSM-demo. Go back to our Windows, and we can paste that in there, or you can type it in there. Next, Windows requires a share to publish on. Please try another location. Oh, okay. Because we need to put the share in there. And what was our share? Go over here to shared folder. It was NAS-share. So we're going to do NAS-share. Oh, not typing. There we go. NAS-share. Okay, next. That's fine. I'll just leave that name as is. Add it, yes. Open this network when I click finish, yes. So, okay, there we go. Network, DSM demo, NAS share, our recycle bin, our folder from our Mac, and let's do, oops, excuse me, new folder from PC. Excellent. So if we look back over at our NAS, open our file station. There we go, folder from Mac, folder from PC. And as you would know it, if we right click on this guy, trash, are you sure you want to permanently delete this? We say yes. And like I said before, if we go and we look in our recycle bin, it's not there. Let's go back over to our NAS. As you can see, folder from PC is still there. There's a refresh there, and there's also a refresh down here in the corner. Because this is on the web, these updates don't always happen, so we do a little refresh, and there we go. We look in our recycle bin, and it's not there. Why did it not go there? Okay, hold on. Let me grab our Mac, and let's try it on our Mac. So here's our Mac, folder from Mac, right click, move to trash, delete, none in our trash can, trash is empty. Let's look in our recycle. It's not in our recycle. Okay, so I'm going to tell you that I probably missed a step. So let's go back, let's close our file station. Let's go into our control panel. Let's do, I think it's shared folder, edit, enable recycle bin. So we're good there. So I am, okay. I've got the answer. I know what it is. It was just a folder. It had nothing in it. So to prove me right, here we go. Our NAS share. Let me I'll grab our Mac. And let's just open like text edit or something. Text edit. Test for Synology. Let's get our prompt, untitled. We'll leave it untitled. Throw it to the desktop. Okay, there it is. Now, let's open our NAS. And this is where our share is. Let's grab this, untitled, plop it in there. Let's take a look. Let's refresh on our NAS. There's our untitled. Here's our recycle. Oh, and to just go a step further, let me show you this. So when things go into the recycle, they go in the folder path. So we'll do test folder. Let's take our untitled and drop it into there. Excellent. We look on our NAS, refresh, test folder, untitled document. And if we double click that, basically it downloads it. So let's go back to our Mac, test folder. Here's our untitled, and we're going to trash our untitled document. Again, did not go down to our trash can. This is empty. So let's go look at our Synology. It's still sitting there. If we refresh, it's gone. So let's look at our recycle. And there we go. Test folder. Inside test folder, untitled. So the good thing about it dropping the folders in, once things get a little complicated as to how many folders, different files are in, it keeps the path. So you know the path. It doesn't just dump every deleted item into one location that you would have to sift through. Okay, so last but not least, let's take a look at file sharing to your Synology NAS from an iPhone. All right, so here we are looking at the iPhone, and what I did is I went to Synology Inc. And basically I brought up all of the apps that they have. And they have a lot. And it can be a little overwhelming. They've got a C2 password where you can manage and autofill passwords. At the top there, if you look just below that, we've got our apps, Active Insight, we've got photos, we've got secure login, Synology Live Cam. You can hook security cameras up to this. You get 2 free licenses with each of your Synology disk stations. So you can put cameras around your house or your business. Photo and video, Synology Moments, Synology Drive. That is a file sharing package that you can install. That's pretty cool. Maybe we'll get into that. VPN, you can create VPN. Chat, you can open your chat server. Mail, this can be a mail server. DS Router, they have router. DS Note, they have a notes application. DS Cloud, DS Video, DS Finder, DS File, DS Cam, DS Photo, and DS Audio. There's obviously a lot. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out really simple, and we're going to do this one DS File. It's the yellow folder. So you can do a search for that, Synology DS File. All right, so I'm going to click Open. And the first thing we get is address or QuickConnect ID, which is great because we set up a QuickConnect ID already. Let's go over to our control panel in case you didn't write it down like I didn't. And we're going to go to External Access. And here is our QuickConnect ID. It's also right here, QuickConnect ID. All right, so we're going to put that in the address section. All right, and if we've got ourselves set up with a certificate, we can also do the HTTPS. If you want to set up additional providers for your dynamic domain, in addition to the QuickConnect ID, you can do that here. All right, so let's bring this front and center. I'm going to go ahead and turn on HTTPS. I forget what happens if we don't have anything set up and we try the default. So we'll click Login, and there we go. Let's go into our NAS share. There's our recycle. There's our test folder with nothing in it. So let's take a look at what happens. We go in, File Station, Test folder, Create folder, and we're going to call this iPhone. Come back here, swipe down. There you go. Do a quick swipe down. It'll do a refresh for you. Like that. There we go. Excellent. And then, of course, same thing. Here we are in iPhone. Create a folder. Test. Done. There it is. And if we go inside our iPhone, there's our test. So that's how you can access your Synology from a web browser, obviously. It's what we have here and how we control our Synology NAS. From a Mac, from a Windows, and then also from an iPhone using the DS application on the iPhone. So actually what's kind of cool here is that if you do have files and you want to move them, you can move them to, you can keep them, check them for offline access. So basically they would download to your iPhone and you would have them on your iPhone. So if you're going to be traveling somewhere where you're not going to have an internet connection, which is fewer and far between these days, you can pin them into offline access. Let's take a look at that really quick. I'm going to go back to my Mac. Here's our Mac. And what I'm going to do is go to our iPhone, and I'm going to take our text file. Let's drag our text file in there. Excellent. If you do the refresh up here, it's going to like refresh the entire your entire file sharing tree. If you use the one in the bottom right here, it'll just refresh this this particular folder that you're on. So here we are. We have our untitled. It's in NAS share test folder iPhone. So on our iPhone, we're going to go to our Synology NAS share test folder iPhone. Here's our untitled document. If we click those three little dots, we can pin untitled, yes. Already added to tasks, so you can tap on tasks in the side menu to check the upload download status. We'll say okay. It should be really fast because it's a very small file. So let's go offline, pinned files. There we go. And now we have it for offline access. We'll delete it. And it's gone. Cool. Go to our recycle, go to our test folder, and there it is. Well, I hope this has been helpful, and I will see what I can do to put together a few more these videos to help you with your Synology NAS. Thanks.